to go on to basic drug math. And there are two most common ways to solve. And one is using ratio and proportion, and the other is usually using the formula. And the formula, if you could just make notes, it's desired, or I think what the doctor has ordered, D, over H times quantity. H stands for what's on hand, or when you're looking at the bottle in your hand, what does it say? You know, there's 10 milligrams per 1 tab, and your quantity is tab. But sometimes, if we're giving a liquid, it would be so much per 5 mils, etc. Or if we're down here, we're going to look at potassium chloride. So first of all, let's just take a very basic order. The physician has ordered Lasix or furosemide, 80 milligrams, PO, daily. And when you look at the bottle, it says 40 milligrams per tab. So let's use the formula first. So we want to fill in desired over H times Q. So desired is 80, on hand is 40, and it's a good idea to put the units so you know to cross out, times the quantity, which is 1. And so 1 tab. So we're crossing out both milligrams, and we know we've set it up right because our answer is going to be in tabs. Now again, whenever you have a 0, you can do that whole divide by 10, 4, divide by this 8. So I move the decimal over once, and you have to do it top and bottom. So I have 8 over 4, which is equal to 2, or 2 tabs. Now what I do when I'm guesstimating, I go, okay, I have 40, he wants 80, there's only 40 milligrams in a tab, I need 80, so my answer has to be greater than 1. Now I know a lot of you can do this in your head, but it's they do get more complicated, so we just want to give you a simple example. Now I'm going to come over here and do ratio and proportion, which is actually the method I prefer. So, what have we got? What are we given? We look at the bottle, we have 40 milligrams is 1 tab, which is equal to 80 milligrams is X tabs. We're going to cross multiply. 80 times 1 equals 40X. We're going to isolate X by dividing both times by 40. So there's our X isolated. We don't have to worry about times 1. I just added it so you would know. And again, I'm going to do this, and I have 8 divided by 4. So my answer is 2 tabs. X equals 2 tabs. It can get more complicated as we look at fluids. And in this case, we're adding KCl to a big IV bag. And remember, you're going to mix it well, but we don't have any that are pre-mixed, so we're going to have to add it. So we go and find the KCl, and we see that the ampule says that it's 30 milliequivalents per 15 mils. The physician has ordered 20 milliequivalents added to a full liter of normal saline. So let's do ratio and proportion first. So we have 30 milliequivalents is to 15 mils, as 20 milliequivalents is to mils. And so I'm going to come down here and I'm going to cross multiply. 30x equals 15 times 20. Divide both sides by 30. And so we've isolated x, but here's where I'm going to move that decimal over. And I'm going to divide both these by 10. So divide by 10, divide by 10. So now I have 15 times 2 divided by 3. But I know that 3 goes into 5 times. So I'm going to go 3 goes into 3 once, 3 goes into 5 times, and my answer is going to be 10 mils. Now go back and let's guesstimate. 30 milliequivalents is 10 mils, or 15 mils. 30 milliequivalents is 15 mils. We want 20. It has to be less than 15. And our answer is plus 30 is double this, 20 is double the 10. So you're always thinking. Now, if you prefer the formula, and many people do prefer the formula, it's just my personal preference to do ratio and proportion, but there's nothing wrong with the formula. So if we were doing the formula, let's D over H times Q. Okay, desired, he has ordered 20 milliequivalents. Over what's on hand is 30 milliequivalents. Times our quantity, which is 15 mils. We know we've set it up right because our answer is going to be in mils. Those are crossed out. Well, I hope you know this, but 15 goes into 30 twice. Most of these are created, so it's easy math, and you'll just memorize that. 15 goes into 30 twice. Now we have 20 divided by 2. 2 goes into 2 once. 2 goes into 20 10 times. So our answer is 10 mils. We go back, we guesstimate again, 30 milliequivalents to 15. We want 20. It has to be less than 15. It's 10. Potassium is a very serious drug. I suggest you do it by hand. Check it with a calculator and have somebody else check with you. Many hospitals require that you have that double checked because it is a very potent medication. Before we go on to do more complex drug math, I want to talk about digoxin, because digoxin, I believe, is on every drug math test and will be on your registration exam. Number one, because it's a critical medication. It slows the heart. Remember, many institutions say hold the digoxin if the pulse is less than 60 beats per minute, because it does slow the heart, and it can be very toxic. So, most orders for digoxin come as, in oral form, 0.25 milligrams, 0.125, or 0.0625. It just so happens for oral, it's supplied as this per tab. Now, I've written this out, and this is something I always tell students, never have a trailing zero. But I wanted to show you so you could clearly understand that this is half of this and this is half of that. Okay, so I'm going to cover up. 0.25 is bigger than 0.12, which is bigger than 0.06. So 2 of these make that. 2 of these make this. Do you want me to do that one more time? Okay. Even here. 2 of these make this. So 2 125s make a 250. It's like double. 2 of these make this. And so you can see, and I'll just print it out for you. 0.0625, 0.0625, add them together. 6 and 6 is 12, 1. And, oops, sorry, so you get 0.125 and never have a trailing zero. And your 0.1250, put 2 of them together. And you get 0, 0, 2, so 0.25. And if you're a pictorial type person, here's your tab. 0.25 is 1 tab. You can see that a half a tab is 0.125 milligrams. So that's the half a tab. 1/4 would be your 0.0625. Digoxin in tablet form only comes as 0.25 or 0.125. So in this case, we have our tab. So 1 full tab is 0.125. A half a tab will be 0.0625. And so, let's think about this. I'm just going to come over here. If the physician, if it's supplied as 0.25 milligrams per tab, and the physician has ordered 0.125 milligrams, it looks like huge math. So if we were doing desired, over on hand. Can you just realize, this is the only time I have you add a 0. That's 1 to 2. Look, 1 to 2. I'll get out of the way. Actually, I'll line that up better. Just a minute. Okay. Look here. It's 1/2. So if you have a 0.25 milligram tab, he's ordered 0.125, that tab will be scored, and we'll give a 1/2 tab. Now, or if he ordered 0.25, we'd give the tab. The other digoxin order might be 0.0625. They're only needing a little bit. So that's what the doctor has ordered. On hand, we have 0.125 milligrams per tab. So, we do our formula. Desired, 0.0625. Divided by what's on hand, 0.125. And this is the only time I'm going to add my trailing 0 when I'm working with digoxin, times 1. Okay, can you see? 6 over 12 is 1/2. So we're going to give 1/2 tab. And I even suggest you do a cue card for digoxin, where you show, here's my tab that's 0.25, 0.125 milligrams is 1/2. In this one, here's my tab that's 0.125. If the order's 0.125 and I've got that, I give 1 tab. If it's 0.0625, I'm going to give 1/2 tab. So it would be a good idea to do a cue card. You can still check with your math, but it makes this so much easier than trying to divide 0.625 by 0.1250. And believe me, you can do it, but you're more apt to make a mistake than if you look at that and you go, oh yeah, I've got that memorized. I know that. And so I think this will help you with digoxin. I'm going to just flip this up. The only other thing is that the ampules, maybe I'll get another piece of paper. Just 1 second. The ampules of digoxin come as 0.5 milligrams per 2 mils. So if we're giving this in ICU and we're giving IV because the person's having tachycardia and they want to slow the heart down, then let's do this. And then that's milligrams. If we needed to give 0.25, can you see for my arm? It would be, that's 1/2 of that. So this would be 1/2 of this, so it would only be 1 mil. And maybe we'll do another little clip just on this, if it would help you. So I need to put some paper up, so I'll do one little clip just on this.